Hey, what's up, Nerd Squad? We're back with another NFL record prediction. Before I get started, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's jump right into the video. Today, we're going to be predicting the Detroit Lions 2020 record prediction. I'm going to say right off the bat, this roster has an incredible amount of talent. I think Matt Stafford is still criminally underrated. Kenny Galladay is an incredible receiver. Marvin Jones is still really good. I think people are even sleeping on Kerryon Johnson. Plus, they have DeAndre Swift now. That offense has a lot of firepower. Their defense has a little bit more talent this year, too. They've got a very talented roster. However, it doesn't seem like Matt Patricia is a very good coach and can bring it all together. I feel like they really need to get rid of Matt Patricia and really just get a better head coach. Once they do that, they can be a very strong competitor. But until then, I think they're going to continue losing games by a close margin because of that. So, week 1, we have them playing the Bears. Um, I have them splitting with the Bears. I'm not super high on the Bears this year either. Their defense is very good, but they don't have much of an offense. Um, I think the Lions are the more explosive team. So I think they'll go ahead and split here, but week 13 when they play, I think the Bears defense steps up and, wins them a game there. So, starting out 1 and 0. Week 2, we have the Lions at the Packers. I'm not really one of those saying that the Packers will regress a whole lot this year. I don't think they'll be a 13-win team again, but I don't think they're going to regress very much. So I actually have the Packers sweeping the Lions. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to play very angry this year. I think he's still very upset about them drafting Jordan Love, and I think he's gonna I think he's gonna ball out this year. I think he's gonna prove to them that they shouldn't have gotten Jordan Love. Now, I just want to make this clear. I am a fan of the Jordan Love pick. I think he'll be a stud, in the future, but I can definitely understand why that makes Aaron Rodgers upset. So, I have him getting swept by the Packers. Week 3, I think there's a lot to compare with these teams. Um, the Lions and Cardinals both have a solid and actually above average quarterback. Both have stud receivers. And two actually really good receivers on both ends. Um, excuse me. So I got a little bit of a cold. The Neither of them really have a super solid tight end yet. I know TJ Hawkinson has potential to be a really good tight end, but we just haven't seen that yet. But I think the Cardinals are the better coached team. Again, I'm sorry, Lions fans, but this all just comes down to coaching. I'm sure you understand it as well. You've got an extremely talented roster. I cannot express that enough. If you get a better coaching staff, you know, you'd be a better team than the Bears, Vikings, and honestly, maybe even the Packers. You guys could honestly win the division if you had better coaching. But the coaching is just that freaking bad. You know, I don't think there's any chance they beat the Saints. I do think they'll beat the Jaguars. I don't think the Jaguars are, really a good team. I think the Jaguars will be the worst team in the AFC, while the Lions are. I'd say the Lions are probably going to be the second worst team in the NFC behind the Redskins. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say. The Lions could, still surprise a lot of people and win some more games, you know. Heck, if the coaching steps up a bit, I could see him sweeping the Bears. I could see him getting one from the Packers. I could see him possibly beating the Falcons here. Um, Falcons have questionable coaching for me too. In fact, I'm actually going to reverse that one. I think the Lions can win that one. Now that they have a better corner in Okuda, plus they got Desmond Trufant, I think they have, you know, a pretty solid secondary. I think I think they'll beat the Falcons. Falcons the past few years have gotten off to a very slow start. Um, in the beginning of the season. So I think they'll beat the Falcons there. So, at this point they've won 3 games. I do think they'll lose to the Colts. I'm not one of those that's super high on the Colts. I don't think they'll be a 10-win team, but I do think they have some potential there and are a better coached team at least than the Lions. Um, Week 9, I think I think they'll actually get swept by the Vikings. Vikings, even though they lost so many players, I think Mike Zimmer is a very underrated coach. I think I think he's good at disciplining his guys, but yet still being, a good coach. He's not a complete hard ass like Adam Gase. I think he's still a very good coach. They've still got a very talented roster. In the spots that they lost players in the offseason, they did good at replacing them through the draft. They lost Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes. They replaced it with Jeff Gladney and I I can't remember the name of the other corner they drafted, but they replaced them. Um, they I believe got Michael Pierce from the Ravens. They replaced Stephon Diggs with Justin Jefferson. You know, I think they're still a very, very solid team with good coaching. And Kirk Cousins, I think, is very underrated too. So I think the Vikings sweep them here. Week 10, you know what? I'm actually going to reverse this one. I do not think the Redskins will beat the Lions. I Redskins, the Washington football team, as they want to be called now, they they've got bigger worries than this season. They've got bigger worries than even the name change. Dan Snyder and a lot of his staff are in very serious trouble right now, and that Redskins team is not anywhere close to being a good team right now. They may have a fairly solid defense. Ron Rivera might be able to get them on the right track, but with so much of the upper staff, like the owner and just other staff there, it's just that place is a dumpster fire. I think the Lions beat them. So, I do think they'll lose to the Panthers. I feel like now I'm trying to say this unbiasedly. Is that a word, unbiasedly? I'm trying to be unbiased here. Panthers, I feel like, have a very, very solid offense. They don't have a quarterback that's going to turn over the ball 30 times in the season. They have a more solid left tackle. In the 2019 season, their left tackle position allowed 24 sacks. That's that's more than the entire Saints offensive line allowed. So, getting Russell Okung there immediately makes their offensive line that much better. Plus, they added Robbie Anderson, so they have 3 very solid wide receivers. I think their tight end, Ian Thomas, has a lot of potential. He's unproven, but I think he has potential. And their defense, yeah, it's extremely young, but they've got talent there. I'm not saying they're gonna be a playoff team. I don't think they'll make the playoffs this year. But I think they're going to be a better team than people think, and I do think the Panthers get the win here. I think they'll lose to the Texans. Texans are also in kind of a rough spot. I think Bill O'Brien's an alright coach, but not a very good general manager. He has done a lot to drive players away. Completely just, I don't know why he gave away DeAndre Hopkins for that cheap. That was the dumbest move they could have made. But I mean, at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson is still very good. He still has a lot of weapons over there. Still a solid defense over there. I think the Texans get the win. I already mentioned the Bears and Packers games there. It's week 15. I do think the Titans will win here. This is something that I think Derrick Henry, it's late in the season. Derrick Henry absolutely balls out at the end of the season. Like, the past couple years even, we've seen him get multiple 200 rushing yard games, and he goes completely crazy. And the Lions, I don't think, have an incredible run defense, and I think this will come down to coaching and Derrick Henry completely balling out against these Lions. So that's why I have the Titans there. Buccaneers, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm as high on them as everybody else, but I still think they're, a 10-win team. I think they'll make the playoffs and could even compete with the Saints to win that division. It'll depend on who plays better between Tom Brady and Drew Brees. But here, I think the Buccaneers are just an all-around better team than the Lions, and I think they beat the Lions. And then I already mentioned the Vikings. So overall, I have the Detroit Lions at 4-12. Again, it's coaching. Lions fans, don't take this personal. You've got an extremely talented roster, just need some better coaching. If you'd have, even slightly better coaching, you could sweep the Bears, you could win one against the Packers, maybe even beat the Cardinals, you could beat the Colts, get one against the Vikings, you could beat the Panthers, you could beat the Texans, and you could beat the Titans. You could turn into a 10 or 11 win team here. It's really just the coaching that's the issue here. So, ceiling, I have them about 11-5. Floor, 2-14. I think they'll go 4-12. So, let me know if you agree with this prediction. Let me know if maybe I shouldn't be so hard on the coaching, or if you completely agree here. Again, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, and I will see you next time. Later.